Today, we're honoring Martin Luther King Jr. by taking a dive into our archives.
Yes, Jobina took that dive and takes a look back at the many visits he paid to the Bay Area.
We can end poverty in the United States.
I think when most people have Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. come to mind, you visualize the South, maybe the East Coast, not necessarily the San Francisco Bay Area.
How many people would you say have to show up in San Francisco and New York?
It seems like he was here a lot.
Yes, he was. He liked the Bay Area.
All over our nation.
I think a special affinity for both Martin and Coretta to come to California. Yeah, when you think about the areas of the country where it seemed more open for Black people to be treated on an equal basis.
Dr. Claiborne Carson is the Martin Luther King Jr. Centennial Professor Emeritus at Stanford and was handpicked by Coretta Scott King to document her late husband's life in the King Papers Project. Dr. Carson now leads the World House Project at Stanford, which builds on all of the previous work and makes it accessible to the public.
I don't know when was the first visit, probably 1956. I think in June, that was when he delivered a major speech about the Montgomery bus boycott.
That historic San Francisco speech wasn't in our ABC7 archives. With film this old, sometimes it goes missing. But we did uncover these moments from old stories. 1964, San Francisco. The Republican Party Platform Committee hearing at the St. Francis Hotel just days ahead of the Republican National Convention in Daly City.
They occur every 4 years, and that every now and then San Francisco gets one. This is a city that claims it doesn't have racial problems. However, unemployment problems amongst Negroes in San Francisco do exist.
It would be a tragic setback, not merely for the cause of the Negro, but for democracy and the cause of justice if this fair housing bill is repealed.
Dr. King was in town fighting attempts to repeal California's 1963 Fair Housing Act and drumming up support for the civil rights movement. He spoke at the Republican convention days later. By 1965, many civil rights acts had been passed. Dr. King began broadening his focus on human rights issues.
Pivot to these international issues, the issue of poverty, as well as the issue of racism, what he calls the three evils in the world.
April 14th, 1967, Stanford University.
Our image has been terribly tarnished as a result of this war in Vietnam, and I think the people who are protesting it will in the long run prove to be the best friends and the most patriotic citizens of this country.
January 14th, 1968. Dr. King visited the old Santa Rita jail in Pleasanton just months before his assassination.
You know, when you go to jail for a righteous cause, you can accept the inconveniences of jail.
4,000 people, white and black, jammed Polk Street to hear eulogies and memoriams to Dr. King, and some strong criticism of white racists.
I'm so glad that you looked at all of this archive footage to find this for us, Jobina.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you all were able to enjoy some of it. And for our viewers, just giving a little background, I started this last week and really was delayed in finishing it because I was actively listening to many of Dr. King's speeches that he gave around the Bay Area. And what I found interesting, and I shared with Reggie this morning, Kristen, is that Dr. King's legacy in many ways has been flattened just to the civil rights portion and not a broader look at him joining the peace movement and his belief in universal basic income and ending poverty and anti-war, and all of that is such a big part of his legacy as well.
Jobina, I want to ask you, because I started to think this morning about his quote that we all know, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And I hope you can help me zoom out a little bit so that I can see that arc more fully, because there are times right now with all that's going on, you know, the Voting Rights Act inability to pass, the using the filibuster to kind of stop it in its tracks, the 19 states that have passed 34 laws that make it harder to vote. What, you know, when you're stuck in that, when you're zoomed in so closely, it feels like it's not arcing and bending towards justice right now.
I mean, I think that's a very valid feeling. There are so many things that are very obvious that are much better than in the 60s, of course, and we don't need to spell that all out. But yes, looking at women's rights, healthcare, what is happening with people in this country not wanting others to vote. It is a huge issue, and in some ways, people could argue that it is worse because it is not hidden. We all know that it's happening, and yet there is not much that is being done to stop it, Reggie.
Literally a year ago, people tried to overturn a Democratic election.
Yeah.
And there are those at the top who are trying to forget about it or brush it under the rug. And it does feel rather hopeless because we're talking about assailing the pillar of democracy itself.
See, and yet I don't feel hopeless. I mean,
That's why I need to hear from you.
Okay.
Talk to me.
Well, because we saw at the end of The View today, prior to this program, we saw a bunch of black voices from all walks of life, really, in America, famous black voices. And Billy Porter was saying, I may not see evidence of hope everywhere I turn, but I am still hopeful because that is a choice that I am making today. And so that's what I think we have to be inspired by. We have to see it every day that it is a choice that we make. So we may have obstacles in front of us, but we know that through past actions, we know through Martin Luther King Jr.'s own work that you don't win every single fight, but you hope that you win the war. And so, that's where I see the inspiration here. Yes.
And it takes years to turn something around, right? It may not happen in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's so much progress has been made. And when you really think about it, Dr. King was killed, he was assassinated 100 years after slavery ended. That's not a lot of time. We just reported this morning on a Tuskegee Airman that died at the age of 102. So when you think about slavery to the 60s to where we are today, so much has changed, and we can only hope that it improves.
Kristen, look at the three people on your screen right now.
Hello.
Delivering the news.
And look at the people that were delivering the news back then.
That's right.
Did you see those clips?
Okay. Thank you for helping me stay at the 30,000 foot view level. I really needed that. Yeah.